Hey listeners, I want to tell you about the 34th PASA Sustainable Agriculture Conference happening February 5th through 7th in Lancaster, PA. You can register at pasafarming.org/HRN. That's PASA farming.org/HRN. This conference draws a diverse group of rural and urban farmers, educators, advocates, entrepreneurs, community groups, artisans, researchers, policymakers, home cooks and gardeners, youth, and others for 3 days of learning on sustainable agriculture and food systems topics. I went last year and I had a blast and I learned so much. So don't miss more than 80 educational sessions and an expansive trade show. Again, you can learn more and register at pasafarming.org/HRN.
You're listening to Heritage Radio Network.
Hello, welcome to Japanese. I'm your host Taki Kotoyama, a food writer and director of the New York Japanese Culinary Academy, which promotes a deep understanding of Japanese cuisine and makeup. We are broadcasting live from Brooklyn, New York. This show is all about Japanese food and food culture. We see sushi at every day in the supermarket, but what is beyond sushi? We hear dashi ramen izakaya, but what exactly are they? Japanese food is still a mystery for many people, and I try to demystify it in this program with my cool guest. My guest today is Yoshihiko Shida, who is the chief instructor of Tokyo College of Sushi and Washoku Onda, which opened in September 2024. The opening is exciting since the school is the first major Japanese culinary school in Europe. And Chef Shida has worked as an educator and instructor in Japanese culinary institutes for over 32 years. And before that, he gained over 10 years of practical experience in a variety of restaurant and hotel kitchens in Japan and abroad. So today we'll discuss the growing demand for sushi and Japanese cuisine chef, what programs Tokyo College of Sushi and Washoku London offers, who is studying at the school, the joy and challenges Chef Shida faces in teaching his students, and much, much more. But before we start, Japanese is available on Heritage Radio Network website, as well as on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify as a podcast. So please go to iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, whichever you listen to, and subscribe to Japanese. Please write a review. We truly appreciate your feedback. Also, just quickly, I wanted to talk about Heritage Radio Network, or HRN, which is the organization that produces this podcast. HRN started in 2009 in 2 shipping containers placed within the one and only coolest pizza place, Roberta's in Bushwick, Brooklyn. It was founded by Patrick Martins, also the founder of the Slow Food USA. We are a non-profit and the only podcast network dedicated to food, beverages, and the culinary world. And HRN brings listeners great podcasts on everything from the past history of baking to the craft of brewing, the complexity of cheesemongering, to the challenges of solving climate change, and not to mention Japanese food culture. So please help us to produce meaningful shows by going to heritageradionetwork.org/donate. Thank you so much. Now let's start a conversation with Yoshihiko Shida. Hello, Chef Shida. Welcome to the show.
Okay, thank you.
So, to get to know you, we have a lot to talk about. To get to know you, where are you from, and what did you eat when you grew up?
Okay. My mom is always she made me washoku is Japanese cuisine and sometimes Western cuisine because Japanese in Japan is usually breakfast is rice or the bread and something to the my generation is always is mostly I was eating a washoku is Japanese cuisine. Okay.
Awesome. So that's why you're teaching Japanese now, I guess. So how did you get into cooking? How did you decide to work as a chef at the beginning of your career?
Okay. Yes. It's my dream. I'd like to go to the another countries. Then it's my generation is mostly people. It's we like French cuisine.
So before you became a teacher of Japanese food, you worked as a chef specializing in French cuisine.
Yes.
So you're teaching Japanese, but you chose French cuisine. So why did you choose French cuisine?
Yes, because I love Paris. That's why. And our Art Nouveau, I can speak French language and I study. That's why I choose French cuisine. And I was working Switzerland at Geneva. Oh, yeah. And I can speak French. That's why I choose French cuisine.
Hmm. Wow. So kind of your knowledge of French kind of initiated going to French cuisine. So, and I heard that you worked in Japan and overseas as a French chef. So where did you work as a French chef and what did you learn from the experience overseas?
I I was working hotel, Daiichi Hotel in Tokyo. So I study a lot of the basically French techniques. And I was working Switzerland hotel is Lausanne Royal Savoy, and I was working Guam Island is Daiichi Hotel. Then what what kind? What I studied is basically French techniques and adaptability and fusion. And I'm because I'm Japanese, and that's why I know how to make Japanese cooking and Italian and French. Is I like to make the fusion.
Hmm. I think you have to be flexible because if you're trained in Japan and like Switzerland, Guam, probably ingredients are very different to make everything available. So you have to be flexible too, I think. So you're really a global minded chef.
Mhm.
Before you knew you had to be that way.
Yep.
So, so you decided to quit being a restaurant chef
Mhm.
and became a teacher at culinary
Yeah.
school at
Yep.
the young age of 30. So why did you change your career?
Oh, I like to try to education because mm, I like to work the three Michelin stars restaurant in France, but it's very difficult. Then it's my family is mostly my mom, fathers, sisters. They are teacher of the college. That's why maybe it's good for me. It's best job is teacher. Then I know how to make cooking. That's why I choose the culinary school to, teacher.
Hey, it makes sense. You're surrounded by educational people, so that makes sense. And I heard you have taught over 12,000 students so far
Yeah.
already. So before you moved to London, where did you teach and what subjects did you teach to your students?
Okay. In the first is I was teaching Shinjuku culinary school, 22 years old. And next is I established Tokyo Sushi and Washoku College in Tokyo. That's why I taught is of course is a tasting lesson, Japanese condiments, and Washoku's lesson. And I know already how to make a French cuisine. That's why I taught it Japanese cuisine and French cuisine, Italian cuisine, Western cuisine. I teach them how to make fusion cuisine.
Hmm.
Fusion is very nice, the new one. And I try to the also friendly and sustainability and eco cuisine.
Hmm.
And only vegan 料理 and it's for me it's very important to try to the vegan and sustainability and eco friendly earth friendly food.
Interesting, because some people say the word fusion may be like misleading. Some people say confusion, but the reality is that Japanese food is always localized, and if you go abroad, you have to adjust to local ingredients and the mindset, and also the palate of the local diners. So, fusion is kind of like merging the demand of the local and also availability of ingredients, and also the Japanese sustainable cuisine. We had a guest last week and Kako Aoi 2 weeks ago. and he's a Shojin monk cook. So
Yes.
yeah, it's really interesting that how much you can teach because of your global background of knowing French, Italian, and Japanese. Everything you have to as a hotel chef. So that's very impressive. And so you seem very passionate about teaching. So what is your mission as a teacher?
Usually the student is only 1 to 3 years, then, but first they like to learn the first time with me. That's why he decided continue. So they quit. It's I have to become a talent teacher, and it's it's most important. It's cuisine is most important jobs. Is I have to teach them. Then its food is for human is very important, and always I like to teach. Of course, how to make food is cooking method, ingredients, but its most important things is how to live every day. It's I like to teach them with philosophy, and philosophy is very important. It's working and philosophy, and I like teach them is life is beautiful. It's how try to the and it's have to study cooking method and philosophy. That
Hmm.
is very important.
Right. So you mentioned life is beautiful. I think what I think you mean is that also you Japanese people tend to really see food as like some kind of a gift from nature. So we don't waste anything. That idea of mottainai, just too good to throw away. So that's the mindset and the respect. The whole animal, whole vegetable, we try not to waste anything. And what people tend to think vegetable part could be a gem. So that's kind of like a good example of philosophy of Japanese cuisine. And then you can do fusion on top of it.
Yeah, there's for example, do you know the Zen or the Sen no Rikyu? It's a Chakaiseki. It's the most important things is I'd like to change the is the Western cuisine is because the Japanese cuisine is minimum is not layering a lot of the things is we respect nature always. That's why I like to teach them. It's Japanese cuisine like that. It's Zen spirit. Jobs is, do you know that Jobs is always taking a Zen spirit. It's a meditation. It's, I know it's usually it's nowadays are too much things in the world. I like to take out it's a big problem, and other always is I teach them is how to do that is life is beauty is happiness, and everybody smile like that.
Mm, right. Oh, it's interesting, right? Because Senrikyu that you mentioned, he's a kind of like a god of tea ceremony. And
Yeah.
why is he so famous? Because he was facing living, right? So this moment, Ichigo Ichie, he often
Yes.
referred to as his philosophy because you have this moment, you have a guest you cook for and you make tea for. And that's
True.
the facing this moment. And also you really appreciate the companionship with other people surrounding you. So it's about the whole cooking. It's not just Japanese, but also it's kind of a hospitality omotenashi. So I think what you're saying is how you approach food. It's not something to process technically. It's about how you feel grateful about what you're cooking and eating. And it's all everything about the relationship with food. I think that's what have you been teaching.
Yes, it's behind of the meats is very important of the is just the food is only fill the tongue, but it's a restaurant, it's atmosphere, the music, it's the art, and the philosophy is very important. That's why I like teach all of the total coordinator. It's not only recipe. Recipe is not so difficult. It's a feeling. I like to teach them it's how to feel, how to express the one of the uh, carrot, how to express the one of the radish. It's important. It's a philosophy of Japanese. Yes.
Well, if I became your student, I would be closer to the food I eat, I cook. I'll be better cook or diner. I
Yeah.
feel warmer. Yeah, that'd be great. So now let's take a quick break here, and when we come back, we'll discuss the programs that Tokyo College of Sushi and Washoku London offers and who is studying at the school. So please stay with us.
Today's program is brought to you by Korin, a supplier of Japanese chef knives and restaurant supplies. Korin is proud of their Japanese culture and traditions, but they want you to know that their products are not just for Japanese restaurants. Their knives and tableware bring out the best qualities of food from every culture and fit into every restaurant from French to Pan-Asian to American. And that is why they're located in New York City, where people from every country in the world come to eat. Korin's Tribeca showroom is home to the most extensive collection of Japanese chef knives in the world, including Japan. Stop by to view their exquisitely designed tableware and the rarest natural sharpening stones. They have a whole range of knife services from repair and rust removal to reshaping and realigning. Korin is dedicated to this ideal, bringing the highest quality Japanese design to your table so you can experience the unparalleled quality of Japanese craftsmanship in your home or restaurant. For more information, visit Korin.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Japan Eats on HRN, Heritage Radio Network. I'm your host, Aki Katayama, and my guest today is Yoshihiko Shida, who is the chief instructor of Tokyo College of Sushi, Washoku, London, which opened in September 2024. So you now teach at the Tokyo College of Sushi and Washoku, London, which opened last year in fall. So it's the first overseas branch of Tokyo College of Sushi and Washoku in Tokyo. So first of all, could you tell us about Tokyo College of Sushi and Washoku? What kind of school is it? And what is the history of the school? What programs does it offer in Tokyo?
In the first is I established Tokyo College Sushi and Washoku because it's usually it's in Japan mostly every culinary school is they are teaching is how to make a Japanese cuisine and a Western cuisine and a Chinese cuisine. But we are Japanese. That's why we have to teach them is how to make a Japanese authentic school. That's why we established only Sushi and Washoku Culinary School. It's just only one. Other culinary school is usually teach is the Western and Chinese and patisseries and everything. It's all that I like to teach. Then only Washoku and Sushi and Washoku is very important for Japanese people. That's why.
Okay. Right. So, so basically, there are major great culinary schools in Japan. So you're saying other schools teach overall cooking, overall like many genres, and then probably people choose to study Japanese in later of the programs. But you just straight into Japanese cuisine, right? At your Tokyo College Sushi and Washoku.
Yeah.
So why did Tokyo College of Sushi and Washoku open a branch in London?
Because it's the other country is Europe and Asia, and they like to learn how to make a Japanese cuisine, but it's for them it's too difficult to the language how to speak Japanese. That's why we like to teach them it's how to make a Japanese cuisine, sushi and washoku in English. That's why we establish London. Other hand is there are many kind of the Japanese restaurants in London and Paris in the world, but a little bit too arrangement. It's not authentic. It's okay, but it's that's why I like teach them in the first. It's basically authentic Japanese cuisine. Then later they make its arrangement is okay, but in the first they have to know the authentic and basically technique. That's why I made it culinary school in London.
Right. So you need a foundation of
Yeah.
the tradition and authenticity, and then you can play with anything you like based
Yes.
on what you have acquired
Yes.
and the cultural influence abroad. Okay, so you are the chief instructor of Tokyo College of Sushi and Washoku, London. So what programs do you offer at the school?
Our curriculum is 6 months. Usually Monday to Thursday, 4 days in the week. It's 9:30 to 4:30. And Monday is tasting and hygiene lesson and food culture and Japanese lesson. And Tuesday is all of the days is sushi lesson. And Wednesday is, do you know, Washoku is Japanese cuisine, Ichiju Sansai. And the Thursday is basically techniques and adaptability techniques. And nowadays, just now is I taught chakaiseki and a tea ceremony and authentic is sennorikyu. We respect sennorikyu. That's why we like to teach them how to make a tea kaiseki ryori.
So sounds like very extensive, and also really cover the what we discussed as a philosophy and the mindset of Japanese food and food culture. So sounds very intense and 6 months, but it's amazing that you can learn so much. And also, you really created unique program go to study straight into the essence of Japanese food culture.
And also, is they can eat. They make, of course, every day, and then they can eat 30 to 6 pound lunch meal. It's very nice. It's counter. They are so satisfied.
Right. Okay, so and who are your students at the Tokyo College of Sushi and Washoku, London?
Of course, it's UK people, and from Indonesia, it's Spain and Hong Kong Chinese people. It's like that nowadays.
Right. So it's really global,
Yeah,
and
global,
it's
yes.
right interesting because it's the first major Japanese culinary school in Europe. That means that you have a good access to other, like London has many great restaurants that could
Yeah.
inspire you too as students. So, what's your biggest challenge in teaching Japanese cooking in London?
A big challenge. I like to make local food in a real Japanese food. For example, in London, it's many supermarket. For example, Tesco, Wednesbury, and H&M. Then, of course, it's from Japan. It's very nice ingredients I can buy, but I like to make a local ingredient. Then I like to make a good Japanese food. It's my point.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So that's I think we discussed earlier. The Japanese food basically is to make something great from anything with anything available locally, and not wasting any parts of what we get, animal or plant. So right. So that sounds like a really good challenge. But
Uh,
what is the joy of teaching at the school in London?
In the 30th, 23rd is September, but now it look like my family, my children, and always it's they they can make always how to make it a real good sushi, how to make a Japanese food very fast, better than Japanese, because it's they they like to study. It's very strong mind. That's why it's, every day, I like to talk to them. It's Japanese culture and Japanese food is very interesting, and it's they try to of course it's as friendly and vegan food already chakaiseki. It's that's why it's look like a Japanese. That's why my favorite. I'm so satisfied like that.
Right. It's amazing, right? So the non-Japanese students are so passionate about learning Japanese cuisine. And then I have seen, we had guests, amazing non-Japanese chefs, sushi chefs or the regular Japanese chefs. And it's really impressive how analytically they acquire the skills and mindset. And I'm always impressed. And I look forward to seeing you graduates to really thrive in anywhere in the world to
Yeah.
showcase Japanese cuisine in their way. So, and sushi and Japanese food in general are very popular globally. And I heard the demand for chefs in Japanese was increasingly high. So, what's the status of the job market for sushi chefs in Japan and in the world right now?
It's I think it's not enough the sushi chef and the washoku chef in the world, but it's a restaurant, sushi restaurant, and the Japanese restaurant is more and more in the world. It's very famous and very popular, but it's I think it's not enough the chef. That's why it's I hope they have to learn how to make basically technique and authentic Japanese food in the first. Then it's they like to make fusion food.
Mm.
Do not forget the Japanese mind, and that's why it's look like always it's okay, but I like to teach them it's authentic Japanese technique and yeah, skill. Yes.
Right. So basically, I think Tokyo College Sushi and Washoku in Tokyo has the same kind of philosophy. And I found the job placement of the graduate in March 2024 on the homepage of the school. It was 100% placement with 9.3 offers per graduate on average. And the graduates work at the well-established sushi restaurants, hotels, and resorts in Japan and abroad. So sounds like there's a huge demand for Japanese chefs and sushi chefs. So I hope you'll be busy teaching a lot of great students at school. So what are your plans and dreams?
I like to performance and with music like movies and kitchen food movies. Like I can do performance, then their crying is that's why it's, my dream is with food and music, and I like to make a food movie, and then uh, it's it's happiness and sustainability, and it's life is beautiful, and everybody smile, and I show them it's my performance for in the world everyone.
Mm, right. So it go back to what we discussed earlier. So life is beautiful, and the food is really the part of this whole experience of living happily
Mhm,
and the gratitude towards what you're given as ingredients and also
mhm.
people who cook for,
Yeah.
and you being you to be able to cook for someone else. So that's amazing. Um, okay, so where can we find your updates online and on social media?
Social media is on Facebook and Instagram.
So
Yeah.
Yoshihiko Shida,
Yes.
right? And the Instagram Shida SHIDA dot Yoshihiko YOSHIHOHIKO Yoshihiko.
Yoshihiko.
Okay,
Yes.
right. And also for listeners who are interested in the school, Mr. Chef Shida teaches, Tokyo College Sushi and Washoku London. The website is www.sushicollege.uk. So, and also Instagram, Sushi College UK, one word. So thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck. Please keep me posted, and look forward to seeing your graduates thriving and in many places on earth.
Okay, thank you so much. But if English skill is not enough, it's very sorry. But I have passion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right, your heart and passion, and I think that's the most important thing too. I think students will be really motivated, and I want to be one of them. So one day, maybe I sign up for your school program.
Yeah, I have to spread the Japanese cuisine also. So I have to recruit many students in London College. I'm waiting. A lot of people, they will come and they will take my lesson. Then I made them happy.
Right. I saw many pictures on your Facebook,
Yeah.
and that the students really enjoying, like really good school ambience. So, right. So good luck and thanks again.
Okay.
Right. So listeners, if you have any questions or comments about the show or suggestions for show topics or guests, please contact us at japaneats@heritageradionetwork.org or kikotema.com. Japan Eats is a weekly program and is always available at heritageradionetwork.org, as well as on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify as a podcast. Our engineer is Gabriel Jean, and thanks for listening. I'll see you next week.